You know, I don't have a problem with people spending their money how they see fit. It's their money. They earned it. Like some people have this thing in their head that if you have disposable income, you're not allowed to buy something expensive. I see it in my comments at times over the most ridiculous things. People are like just crazy at times. But that's neither here nor there, as the ladies like to say. And I know a lot of us can disagree on those things, and that's fine. But the one thing that I think there's a lot of disagreement and debate on is getting collectibles graded, slabbed up to just be stared at on a shelf for the rest of eternity or until somebody decides to break that slab. And that's great. You know, I don't own anything graded. I do know people who do, and that's their business. Like I said, spend your money how you see fit. But with things like Heritage Auctions, WADA, all these different I just don't trust them. Like I trust Heritage Auctions with, you know, what they do as far as hosting these auctions as much as I would trust the Dalai Lama running a daycare center. That's just the way it goes, man. But people been bidding on items, buying some crazy stuff here. There's been some controversy in the past on who's selling what and who's actually buying it. But what I wanted to take a look at today is these Nintendo Power issue number ones that have been selling for a little bit of a crazy amount of money as of late. As when I inspected the images they have here, I just scratched my head a bit. Like the one reason that I'm always conflicted on grading is because of the score. Like, how does the score work? Like, and then I've seen videos of people getting sports cards or Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering cards graded, not liking the grade they got, cracking it and resubmitting it to try to get a better grade. Like, I don't know how the standards work or if there's even an actual standard here. Now, the reason I bring this up is because with this Nintendo Power, this isn't even the one I want to talk about. This one was sold November 4th, 2022 for $24,000, right? And it looks pretty clean when you look at just immediately looking at it. Like, you know, your eyes kind of focus up here. It looks fairly clean. But then when you like start inspecting it, you know, there's some smudges, there's some fading of the ink, and you know, these old issues of Nintendo Power, they weren't the highest quality, you know, print jobs, ink, materials, or whatever. I have issue number one, and mine is a bit faded, you know, a bit dinged up type of thing. I would never submit it for grading, but hell, man, for $24,000, maybe. But this one's definitely better condition than the one I have. But then, like I noticed down here, like it looks like there's a crease or a scratch. And then on the corner down here, there's like a ding or a crease. Like, to me, when you have something like that, like how does it get such a high score? This got a 9.4 from CGC. And I don't think there was any qualifiers or anything on it because when you go down, they do explain this is a universal graded one. So this is out of the 9.4s, there's only 4 of them that exist. And when you look at universal, essentially it's simply the grade that it's marked. Like there's no special considerations as it mentions there. So it's just like, hey, this is a complete, like no crazy weird damage, no restoration. This is just a boom, the magazine as it is, this issue, and we graded it and the number that it got. That's just straight what it means. It's a universal grade. And, you know, when you go down like qualified, I think it says qualified is used to certify books that have a significant defect that needs specific description. For example, it would be a disservice to the seller and buyer to call a VF NM book with a 4-inch back cover tear a VG. So CGC will give this book a qualified grade of VF at NM 9.0 back cover 4-inch tear. So it would like note it. It would give that little designation that there is some kind of significant issue with this book, right? But this one was a universal one, restored. Like, you know, there's certain issues that were fixed here, but this one, yeah, you know, late last year sold for $24,000, but now we got one that broke the record. I believe that one was the record. Now we got another one that broke all records. And when I looked at this one, I was like, okay, I don't have it in front of me. I don't have where I can page by page white glove it and really inspect it to know. But when I looked at this one, it got a 9.8, no qualifiers, no restoration, nothing. But when you zoom up, you know, you see there's big scratch going along there, scuffs down here, which would happen in the mail. Like, I used to be subscribed to Nintendo Power back in the day to plenty of magazines. They would get scuffed and scratched, dinged up, that kind of thing. It happens. But this is a high ass grade. 9.8, and it sold for $108,000. And look at the cover. Like, I would argue the front cover on the other one, it's just as good, if not better, than this one. But I'm nobody to judge. I'm not a grader. But, you know, you see stuff like this, maybe a crinkle, some kind of distortion down there. Like, this, to me, is nowhere near perfect. It looks clean. It looks nice. But to people, you know, who collect this kind of stuff, like, look at the back, too. There's lots of little, like, fading and scuffs and whatnot. Like, I would think, like, a high grade, a 9.8 to a 10, like, it's like freaking hot off the press, never touched by human hands, never went through the postal service or anything, right? Whatever. But yeah, $108,000. And the reason, I'm assuming, without knowing like who bought this or why it was bought, is that it's the only one from CGC graded that high. You've got 4 9.4s, 9 9.2s, 6 9.0s, and then, you know, higher quantities with these lower numbers down here. But there's only one 9.8. And there's only a total of 227 universal graded CGC Nintendo Power number ones. Well, there's probably like a few million of these printed. So I don't know, man. Like, this is kind of crazy for that kind of price. Now, if another one pops up, 9.9, maybe this one won't be as valuable anymore. But it's like, you know, at times I just really question this kind of stuff. You know, insider trading, market manipulation, you know, who's buying these things? Who's controlling the market? I've seen all these stories. What was it, like over a year ago or so, last year? Logan Paul, big YouTube guy with his first edition Pokemon box, sealed box, that the baseball card exchange had sealed off and signed off on it, authentic, and then opened it up and there was like G.I. Joe cards in there. So it's like, who has like the interest in these things? Like, yeah, this is not a sealed product. It's just a slab magazine. But with all this weird stuff that's gone on out there, as far as grading, the collusion between companies, the grading companies, the auction sites, the weird things going on out there, the people who are actually buying these and the connections they have. It just really, I have no confidence in any of this. Like, that's why I'm not going to go through my Nintendo Powers and try to find some early issues that are clean. I do have some clean issues, and the magazine that came out before Nintendo Power, I have some fairly decent looking ones of those. I would think me as a commoner sending this stuff off and trying to sell it, even if I had a really nice Nintendo Power, number one, like, would I be able to get this kind of money? I feel like I probably wouldn't, because I don't know the right people. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Bye.